Hello everybody, Sarah from Allure Star Creations here. Today I have the part 2 of the Cuddle Blanket video. Now where I had left off with that project was I had taken and put all of the pieces for each of the sides together in 2 pieces. Where I'm going to start out is what I did was I laid them, both of the pieces out, so that they were all along the floor, and I had trimmed the edges of the 2 different sides so they were equal. I did that because the reason I did that was because I want to lay them and have them matching. So I did that. Somehow I forgot to film that, plus an introduction. And then I laid both pieces on top of each other, or one on top of the other, and then folded it in those 2 pieces in thirds. What I'm doing here in a second will be, I'm cutting down the fold of the, and cutting through both layers. So that's where I'm going to take you now.
So what we did, we just folded over, and now I'm cutting through both sides. Funny thing is, I'm actually left-handed, but since I didn't ever have any left-handed scissors, I cut with my right. I can't cut with my left hand. I know, it's weird.
So now what I'm doing is I folded the bigger piece in half and I'm cutting down that side.
Go ahead.
All right, so now what I'm going to do is one of the sets I'm going to turn around. So this one I'm going to flip. So it's opposite of the other end. This one, I'm actually going to take one from one side and put it with the other. Maybe. It is almost. So I took the top, and I'm going, or the bottom, I'm going to put it with the top, and leave this side. There.
Perhaps for more drama, put the gray in the middle.
Because I think this side is supposed to be. This is the same as this. I didn't put the bottom with the top. I put, yeah. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. Now, let's see. Do I like this? So I'm ending with gray and ending with purple. Do I like that?
I will say the more asymmetry we're going for, this is probably going to be your best bet.
This is true. Actually, what if, let me see what it looks like just this way. How it was originally. I like that better. I think that's balanced a little better.
I do think that is stronger.
Yeah. So I did not flip this one. I put it back to how it was originally. Now I'm going to take and put right sides together and now sew them together. So I am back stitching because it is going to give you a better seam on the end with it not coming apart. And I'm just sewing using my foot as my guide. It's about a actually it's about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And it doesn't have to be perfect because your cuts aren't perfect. What I am gonna do when I get to this part, I am going to backstitch over each one of those just to secure it a little bit better. That came out a little bit more than I wanted it to. Okay. There we go. So here's where the bottom seam is. So I'm going to backstitch over that just to secure it a little better. You could pin this, and that would probably be smart, but I'm in a hurry.
Living dangerously.
I'm living dangerously, and I'm used to quilting. Quilting, you don't use many pins. So, again, when I get to one of those seams, if my machine will cooperate, I'm going to backstitch over said seam. Alright, so I decided not to live dangerously again because that was not fun. So I'm actually going, instead of pins, I like these wonder clips because they're easier not to stab yourself, and they hold the fabric just as well as pins do. And again, at each of the seams, I'm gonna put a pin so I know to backstitch. But I'm taking both sides, I'm putting right sides together and clipping the fabric together. Okay, I now have two pieces that I have laid right sides together. Because of the stretchy fabric, I do have some funky ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay one edge together. I'm going to sew that edge. Then I'm going to do the same on the other long edge. I'm going to trim up the shorter edges and then sew around that way. I am going to leave on one of the shorter ends a space open so that I can turn it right sides out. Okay, so I say that a lot, don't I? I am going to reach in through the hole, find one of the opposite corners, and pull. And keep pulling till you get the blanket completely turned out, like that. So now what I'm going to do is I have this little open area here. I'm going to carefully turn it this way, and right along the edge, I'm going to do one little seam from here, catching both sides, to here. Because Cuddle fabric has a tendency to move on me, I have pinned it. This will help keep it so it doesn't. That. I've also dropped my walking foot because it is really thick fabric now. Back stitch. And sometimes, there we go. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to start, just because there is so much fabric. And this little seam is gonna disappear because of the fuzz, the pile. Technical terms. And right here is where my seam begins. So I'm going to make sure I get to at least that spot. And back stitch. And clip. And there we are. Okay, and here's the finished product. One thing you can do, which I might do later, you can do a seam or a hemline around the outside to keep this from rolling on you, but I like the way it works right now. I might do that later. I might not. But yeah, here's one side. And the flip side. And I love it.
In the end, I did end up doing a seam along the edge about 1 inch in. I found that with this fabric, when I was trying to use it, the two sides would roll apart, and I was having a hard time using it because it was almost a big pillowcase instead of a blanket. So I did end up doing that. I really hope you enjoyed this process. It was kind of a fly by the seat of my pants. This video is a little haphazard and I apologize. I'm probably going to create a full tutorial showing how I did that in full. Because I know this project was a little jumbled, yada, yada, yada. So I'll probably be doing that. The second thing that you might notice is where I was actually at our cabin in Grand Lake. My parents own a place up there. We go up there and it's a great work area. Keeps me focused. So that's where we were. And if you enjoyed this, please like this video and subscribe. Help me out. And I hope you will join me again. Thanks a lot. Bye.